All right, but we shall get the party started. And Mel, if you want to bring up the screen, I'd love to start again answering in the chat and ask you, what brought you here today? Was it somebody, maybe you know us personally, you're here to support us, or you had a referral from a friend? Are you feeling a little off during this sort of midlife stage, or maybe you saw one of our little Facebook ads and you're curious as to what's happening? Just write in the chat. I'm just going to try to pin my box so that we record it properly. And this is being recorded, so if you are worried about that, like not during this part, but you're welcome to turn your videos off as well. So just checking in the chat box here.
Wanting to see what we've been working hard at.
Yes, thank you. Interested to see, yep.
Svetlana shared the session. Very
Oh,
nice.
hi, Diane. Welcome. Yes, Svetlana mentioned that you might be coming, so welcome. I hope that you enjoy it. Totally my jam. I love it. That, I believe in divine timing, and I know that you and Mel met on a flight. So you know what? Like, it's just the way that the world works. I met my husband backpacking through Thailand. Here we are, like all these years later.
Supporting us. That's very nice. Appreciate that.
Uh,
Curious about middle-age chats.
Saw the ad on Facebook. Oh, good, it worked.
Menopause hit me very hard, and us. Ah,
yeah. Nice. Okay.
All right.
Wonderful.
Missed the last one. Yeah. Well, we're welcoming everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you. Just going to close that chat box down. And I just want to quickly go over, just so you know what's coming up, a list of what's on the agenda for the next 45 minutes or so that we're going to spend together. Mel and I are going to talk briefly about us in case you don't know who we are, and then why PIA, why Power and Aging, why now? I have a short survey I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to circle back to that. We're going to explore just a few of many areas of aging that is really pertinent right now. Core beliefs, body image, grief, and letting go. Then we're going to put the pieces together and see how they all come together with our brand new online membership and have a special offer for you as well. So by the end of the webinar, we'd really like for you to have gained some clarity and confidence around some of these areas that are affecting us at this age, and some ideas on how to press forward as well, feel motivated to go ahead and go after the dreams that you are, imagining for yourself. And we'll like to share as well how we can continue on that path with you as well. So a little history between Mel and me. Goodness me. We go back. We met in 5th grade. So we've known each other since we were 10. We're both 50. Well, sorry, your birthday's next week.
Yeah.
Her birthday's
Don't
on Wednesdays. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I'm literally 3 months older than her to the day. So we're both 52. And we, best friends. And then we kind of, didn't see each other as much.
Happens.
And yeah, life happens, teenage, late, early 20s. And then back together since our mid 20s and right through. And Mel joined Power and Aging, which I started just over 2 years ago. She joined last year as our health and wellness coach. So it's the dynamic duo back together again. And this is me. For those who don't know me, I'm Christine. I'm a certified life skills coach. I just wrote coach in there because I'm also my son's Little League baseball coach. Assistant coach. So I like coaching in general. I also love to work in a very spiritual realm. I am an angelic Reiki master practitioner and an angelic light worker. I do angel readings and energy healing through beautiful gifts of the angels. I am a huge traveler, always have been. Actually, Mel and I together went to Australia when we were 16 on a dance trip and got the travel bug. And I then lived in Brazil, moved back, lived in New York, Toronto, Vancouver, England. I worked on cruise ships for over 3 years of my life. So at sea, sailing around, and it's really given me a lot of life experiences, a lot of diversity with cultures and
perspective.
Yeah, different perspective. And it's just been a huge part of my life. And I am, most importantly, my biggest role is I'm a mom to two beautiful boys, Rio, who is almost 12 in July, and Kai, who just turned 9. So I was a late starter. I'm a older mom, quote unquote. A huge dreamer. I believe that you have to dream big and live big and go after those dreams. Became an entrepreneur with a mix of what I do and my favorite things. And my former life was I was actually an actor. And when I lived in the UK, I was a TV presenter for the Jewelry Channel, but an actor and union member here in Canada with the Actor TV's union. So that was my life then, and now I am here and trying to utilize all of the skills and experiences that I've had to put into my coaching. And I'll pass it over to Mel as I try to unpin myself here and get her on the screen.
You know, I don't have my microphone available to me, so it'll have to go through yours.
Okay, do that.
Because I am screen sharing, I think.
Sure.
Sorry, technical difficulty. And it went backwards.
Just make sure you talk loud.
Okay. Can we hear me all right? Probably loud enough voice.
I see a
right?
yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I love nature. I love being outside, and my reflection of my coaching style is very big into the nature as well, and all of what nature has to offer us, because I think that's where our best health lies. My coaching is have a degree in biology, and then many certifications around insulin, glucose, detoxification, endocrinology, stuff like that. So I bring all of that to the table. I'm a mother as well, one 23-year-old son who occasionally drives me crazy, but he's a loving, lovely man now. It's so weird not to say boy. So we're at different stages for sure of our rearing. I've had restaurants. My last restaurant was a plant-based whole food restaurant. So again, bringing that nature and as close to nature as possible into everything. So that is, I love traveling as well. I tried to bring all kinds of things in from my travels, and I was a tour guide and in Central America for quite a while. So I again took all kinds of information from other cultures that I think that's really relevant and important to do, because every culture has interesting things available for us to learn from, right? So that's a little bit about me, and I will pass it back on to Christine, and onward we go.
Thank you, Mel. I'm just going to have to keep repinning for the right screenshot. So why PIA? Why now? How did Power in Aging come about? During my studies to become a life skills coach, we also did a big component on group coaching and workshop facilitation, which was right up my alley. So I knew I wanted to work with groups of people. I find there's strength in numbers, and I also find that it's a collaboration. Everybody brings in their experiences and their wisdom and everything to the table. So it's such a beautiful process. And at the same time, I was approaching my big 5-0, and it was one of those eeks. I started feeling all the feels and, what has happened with, my body physically, and where am I at mentally, emotionally, my spiritual journey. And there was so much happening. And I thought, this is something that people could really use coaching with. And I noticed there's like a big gap in the coaching industry and in this space of coaching where there wasn't a lot that represented the middle-aged women group. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to really hone in on this area and work on everything that we're going through as we age and come into this period of our lives, again, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I decided I wanted to help women rediscover who they are and find their identity at this age. So we have a little survey for you, and I'd love for you again to write in the chat. This is just something that, we want to circle back to at the end and show you how it fits in with our program. So what would best help you to find your power in aging? So you can write 1, 2, however many in the chat, or all of them. Number 1, exploration of pertinent and vital topics related to midlife. Number 2, self-development and transformational work, that deep dive. Number 3, healthy challenges to promote growth with empowering tips and tools and solutions. Number 4, live group coaching sessions, so working together. And number 5, active engagement in a supportive, like-hearted community. So just pop your numbers in the chat. All, yes, me too.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I don't know if Mel, if you're monitoring the chat as well. Number 5, all, yep.
Yeah. 2 is common.
1 and 2, yep. And I do find too, like if you're geared maybe to one side or the
Sides.
other, maybe you're looking for, maybe you do a lot of self-development work on your own and you are looking for the sense of community and accountability that way. Yep, which is why you might choose number 5 or number 4 and 5. And then maybe some haven't actually delved into that self-exploration as well. So we would like to offer you all of the above with our new program. So let's start by showing you how, and we're going to explore a few of the prominent areas of aging that have been coming up through our conversations, through our group coaching. There are many, but these are just a few. We're going to jump into first is core beliefs. And we can really dive in during the program in a way that obviously in the webinar we don't have time to do, but I'd like to start off with a little quote. Our core beliefs need to be seen for what they really are, deeply held assumptions about reality that our particular life circumstances have conditioned us to accept as absolute truth. And we talk a bit about that as well, truth versus perception. So to break that down, and for those of you who are like, well, I'm not sure really what my set of beliefs are. Beliefs are ideas or generalizations that we make about the world based on our references of experiences, our own personal experiences. So they're part of our programming, the things that we've accepted from our childhood, from our significant others in our lives, our education systems, from our culture, and from general events and experiences that have happened to us in our lives. Beliefs are judgments, and they are evaluations that we make about ourselves and others, and they determine our motivation, our attitude, our feelings, our actions, and they can also determine our success in life. So just a few examples of what they might be. These are some limiting beliefs as we age. So my value decreases as I age. And this is an interesting one because Mel and I have talked quite a bit about how, some cultures really revere their elders. And as you age, you become more valuable. And yet in a Western culture and society, quite often we place all the importance on youth, right? And being youthful. So we feel that that we decrease in value as we age. How about physically? I get less attractive and therefore am less lovable as I age. A lot of us place that importance on the physical and feel less lovable because of it. Younger is better. I mean, if you look out there in all of the media and what is being flashed in front of our eyes and propaganda, everything is youth and young, and that's the way that we feel we need to be. I'm not good enough anymore. How many times have we told ourselves that? My kids don't need me now. Maybe you're an empty nester. Kids have flown the coop, or are getting ready and more independent, and you don't feel your own self-worth. You've placed a lot of that importance on, being a caregiver to them, and now, they don't need you as much. Slowing down is part of aging. I can't tell you how many times I hear this. I work also with a brain health fitness program with a senior group, and a lot of them, it's mindset. They tell themselves they're slowing down. They do. If they don't, they can overcome it. What about certain clothing or hairstyles? I think somebody mentioned this earlier. You got the haircut, they're appropriate or they're inappropriate at certain ages, right? Like you shouldn't wear maybe a really short skirt as you age. I actually had a funny story. Someone once told me that they were at a bus stop, they sort of had mid-length hair, and somebody walked up from behind them and turned to speak to them and did one of these sort of double takes, and they said that the person said it was deceiving because from behind they thought they were a younger person. But because they had longer hair, and that as you age you're supposed to get your hair cut off or something. So I mean, there's all these ageist remarks that happen in society, right? How do we deal with ageism? All of these things that they're placed upon us by society that are not truth, They are just beliefs, right? What about it's too late? I will never, right? I will never meet the man of my dreams at this point. I'm never going to advance in my career. I'm never going to travel the world. It's too late. So these are things, even if we don't say them out loud, we often say them in our head. Do you have that little inner voice that's niggling and like poking you and telling you things that you hear all the time? And unfortunately, we listen to them, right? And they become these sort of limiting beliefs. So we have some questions as coaches that we would ask you to sort of start working on some of these limiting beliefs. Why do I believe this? First of all, that's a big one. Do you even know why you believe it? Were you just told about it? Or is this something, that it's been passed on through the generations, or you just believe it because the TV said it, right? So why? What makes this true? What is the evidence to support this as a truth? Challenge it, right? We encourage you to challenge it. Is it a truth? What about, is it my truth or someone else's truth, right? Is that actually true for me, or just because that was your experience? That's not what I'm experiencing. I don't need to take that on as my belief. How is this belief serving me? Is it serving me at all, or is it limiting me, right? So make that pros and cons list. If it's not serving you, how we need to get rid of it, right? And how can we do that? Can we reframe it so that it does serve me? So these are just a few examples of questions that a coach would ask you if you were in a one-on-one session with them, right? So we've made our program as a group coaching program in a way that we can all relate and answer these questions ourselves. So unlike paying for a private coaching session where you feel kind of on the spot to answer and dig deep in that moment, and maybe you feel rushed to find the answer, our opportunity is to answer in a very self-paced, no pressure environment, journaling, exploring, and taking the time to really define your answers. And that allows the growth in the areas that you need it. So we're going to challenge you to dig deep, be honest with yourself, especially, and come to your own self-inclusions conclusions. Because basically, as coaches, we believe that you have the answers. You have the answers within you, right? We're just there to help prompt them and probe you a little bit to help unpack all of that and for you to find those answers within you. So sometimes you don't even know how a topic is affecting you, and it may be affecting other areas of your life, right? That ripple effect. And then you have to figure out again if it's your truth or if it's just a limiting belief that you have created about that topic. So through self-reflection and delving in, you're going to really discover more about yourself, and you realize why things are recurring in your life, why things are triggering you, and why you continue to be stuck in this same area. So we'll offer you ways to tap into not only your conscious, but your subconscious, and really explore through many methods, such as breathing techniques, visualizations, guided meditations, coaching questions, journaling, and more. So this is really, the time for you to delve in. And the best part is, as you write these answers down, and some of these and answer truthfully to yourself, you kind of start realizing what you're holding on to and what you can let go of, right? So what needs to be released and let go of, and what is there to stay, but you can maybe tweak or change it to make it work for you. So we talk about reframing or reprogramming these beliefs so that we can use them to our advantage and help them serve us. Sometimes we also say you have these aha moments or these light bulb moments. And those are really, really wonderful moments, and they can really enhance your transformation. This allows you to go deeper and sort of dig in and have that growth that you're looking for. And the nice thing is, with this growth, it's a process. So you can come back time and time again and review what you've written, add to it, change it. You're not only tracking your progress, but you're able to reflect upon where you've come from and appreciate the journey that you're actually on. So journaling and using this technique really allows you to release all of these thoughts and emotions in what I think of as like a physical release, because I'm getting rid of them from my body and my mind, putting them on a page, right? Dumping them into the paper. And then I'm also going to utilize my groups, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is a great way to do it without fear or judgment. And you do it in your own time when you're ready. So at Power and Aging, we are not interested in your limiting beliefs. We are interested in what makes you limitless. We want to empower you and help you find your limitless self. So we're really excited to share with you this new program and show you how we are going to make that happen for you, including which in our first month we have a beautiful guided meditation. So I'm going to pass it over to Mel now to take us through the next section. And I'm going to pin you as well, Mel.
And I can get my unmute bars here, so that will work this time.
Okay, and I'll see if I can mute me. Try that? Oh, no. I'm going to go stick to mine. Hopefully you can still
Get
see
some
Mel.
feedback.
All right.
Is that better? Video, audio wise?
I think so.
Feedback stop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just get us started. Body image is such a big topic. This quote, I think, really embodies so much of it. I can't see it. Sorry.
Oh. You've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens.
Thank you. I think that really it's poignant and talks about how we look at ourselves instead of how we don't appreciate the things that we should. And there's so much to appreciate, even if we aren't where we aren't presently where we want to be, right? Same with the number on the scale. That scale it can change from hour to hour, week to week, day to day. This is so much more than whatever the number says. It is a good guide, don't get me wrong. There is value in knowing the approximate amount, but I think sometimes we sort of obsess about it. So how do you feel about your body when you see that number, right? This is how we get into truth versus perception. What we see, what we used to see, how people see us instead. Do we have a healthy body image of ourselves? Do we hold on to an image of ourselves at 25 when we were younger and less wrinkly and tauter and maybe leaner? Who knows? This perfect image that we might have been at the time, does the inside match the outside or vice versa? And is it really the truth, or is it just your perception of what you think you're seeing, right? If you could change one thing about your physical body, what would it be? If you could write that down, just type one quick thing in the chat, that would be great. If top of your head, whatever comes to mind, maybe it's about your eyesight, maybe it's your hair,
Knees.
maybe it's your we've got what, sorry? What
Knees.
Knees. Ah, yes, good.
Remove
knees.
wrinkles. Menopause belly. That's mine as well. Varicose veins. Yep. Weight.
Yeah.
I would love to gain 10 healthy pounds. That's a really good point too, because weight can go either way.
Reverse, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a vast topic, right? We can explore
belly, weight loss. Yep.
Excellent. We can explore everything from how our weight has changed in one way or the other. Most people get a little bit larger as we come into perimenopause, etc., and our hormones fluctuate. To our skin, our eyesight, our energy levels. Perhaps it's our aches and pains when we wake up in the morning. We're all so different physically, but I can assure you that we're all going through the same physical changes on some level, right? Some of which we like less than others, am I right? Some, maybe that extra little wrinkle here or that sag over here, the bulge, whatever it is, creeping in that wasn't there before. And again, change is a constant, but we can help that, and we can change it in a different direction if we want to do that. So that gives us just a sense that this isn't the body that we once had, and how to reframe that and how to look at it differently. Well, I think this sums up many, many things, don't you? This picture spoke to me personally. I do feel that way sometimes, because another thing that we go through at this stage is our hormones. They just go a little bit cuckoo. So everything's in flux and we're trying to deal with things. And sometimes we speak out of, just emotions a little bit quicker than we might have before. And this, again, is a giant topic. We can't even touch the top of it today, but we will go into the program. I hope that affected you as much as it did me. So the next question is, where do we start? Do we learn to love and accept ourselves where we're at right now? Do we make conscious efforts to change what we don't love about ourselves? Or what we think is the best choice is both. There's always got to be a realistic compromise. Can we change this? Yes, some things we can, and some things we can a lot, and some things we can a little. Great, let's work on it. Is it something I can't change at all? Is it something that I just need to reframe? These are all important things to look at, and that shows us compromise versus change. Love it in spite of ourselves, right? So the next thing we want to look at is how would we make these changes? We have baby steps to take. The first one is our mindset, the mental changes we have to make those changes occur. The next thing we would do is look at the physical steps that we're willing to take to get into that next phase for change to happen. What about all the things that can't be changed? Are you or not quite as much as you would like, so only partial changes? And then working through our own self-love and confidence changes, as well as truth versus perception, which we touched on. It's all important part of the work that is really rewarding, that we will go through together on this journey. So when we spoke about before, thinking about that question that I asked you earlier to write in the chat, that physical change, if you could, the instant change, because we only have a short time together today, this is just a taste of what a coach would ask you in a session. But now if you either write this on a sheet of paper or in a lovely notebook, or you can take a screenshot of this, there'll be 3 questions. You can take a screenshot at the end, then you can revisit it later and try to truthfully answer this so that it will really make an impact for you to dig deeper and make a change. Again, what is that one change you would like to make a reality right now, whether it was to do with weight or eyesight, etc. And then the second question is really important. How would your life look if that change actually came to fruition, right? So if you actually made that change, would other people see you differently? Would you perceive yourself differently, and confidence would sort of spill over out of you? This is a really important question to ask you, to ask yourselves when you're going through these initial questions. The third question and final question is, what small change or healthy habit would you be willing to make this your reality, to make that change happen, right? Change is hard. Humans don't like change, but we do need to make changes to get change. So that being said, this is sort of again, a quick overview of what a coach would be doing with you and how we'll be really taking the membership into action for you. I'm going to pass it on to Christine,
Thanks.
and we're going to go a bit deeper.
Thanks, Mel. Just repinning, doing all that. So you can see by what Mel was just talking about, body image, there's so much there. There's so much to this whole topic called aging, right? Especially in midlife. The good part about that, though, is we've gone already through so much at this point, right? We have the bumps and the scars and maybe a few wrinkles to prove it, but we still have a long way to go. We're just getting started. And this is where it really gets good. This is the perfect age to stand in our confidence, right? To stand in our truth and aim for those stars, because we are now experienced and we're crafty enough to actually catch them. And I like to think of it, people say, oh, you're going over the hill. Well, I say, you know what? We're kind of at the top of the hill, right? What a better location to grab and reach for those stars, right? We have the best vantage point from the top of the hill. We don't have to come rolling down the other side. As a matter of fact, my personal hill just keeps getting higher. So this is just the perfect time to delve in and really work through it. So the final area I want to delve in with you today and explore is a really big topic, but we're just going to skim the surface: grief and letting go. It's a very relevant topic, and I'll explain to you why for me is personally with power and aging, but I find it's a very untapped and almost taboo subject. So one quote I wanted to share with you is, there is nothing more rare nor more beautiful than a woman being unapologetically herself, comfortable in her perfect imperfection. To me, that is the true essence of beauty. And with Power and Aging, we always say in our letters and for our sessions, come as you are, perfectly imperfect. And to be clear, I'm not referring to grief from the death of a loved one. That is another grief that can be covered at another time. What I'm talking about is the real grief and sense of loss that we go through as we transition through new stages. The sense of loss of ourselves, of our self-identity as we age, the loss of youth, and the things that we leave behind as we age, the expectations that we've set for ourselves. And sometimes others have also expected those things from us too, that were never achieved. So learning to let those go. So let's just take a look at a few examples. These are areas of grief that come up quite often at this stage of our lives, things that we never accomplished, our childhood dreams that we had envisioned, right? But they never came to fruition. Goals or aspirations that were never achieved. What about careers that we have or don't have, but maybe we never even achieved the level of success that we had anticipated? Or a fairy tale romance, relationships. We always wanted this one that we had in our head, and it either never happened or it happened and it didn't last, or I mean, things just didn't go as planned. What about places we've never traveled to or hobbies we've never tried and things that we had thought we would have, honed in on by this age? So these are just a few areas. And we sometimes set so much pressure on ourselves to become something that, and listen carefully, something that we were never meant to become. And we hold on to that. So learning to acknowledge that, release it, and then move forward, it's hugely gratifying. And it's a huge challenge as well. But personally, for me, it was actually the primary reason that I started Power and Aging to begin with. This is just something that everybody needs to delve into, and it's a huge area. More often than not, though, we regret the choices that we didn't make far more than the choices we did, right? How many people do you hear regret on their deathbed? It's more the things they haven't done, right? Not the things they did. So let that sink in, because as you choose to not take that leap of faith or tell yourself not to try something new, remember that. And sometimes letting things go is an act far greater power than defending or hanging on. So just on a personal note, as I mentioned to you before, I was an actor in my former life, and my goal, my Hollywood dream, was always to have that Oscar on my mantle by the age of 30. So you can imagine I was turning 50 now, fast forward, and I stopped to look in the mirror and I really had one of those aha moments. And this is when the whole Power and Aging program basically flashed before me in my head. It was like a really hard, painful feeling. And I realized that, I hadn't accomplished this big dream that I always had and I always thought would be the fulfilling thing in my life. And, to be fair, I actually have had a beautiful and wonderful life, and I've taken different paths, right? But it came back to that moment. And I had to sort of stop and realize, what is going through me? This is grief. I need to let this go, because funny thing is, I don't even really want this anymore. My goals have changed. Everything I'm living for now is not what I had in mind then. But it was still a sense of failure, and failure is a really hard pill to swallow. Did I let myself down? Did I let my parents down? I, promised them that I was going to do all of these things after having gone to theater school, so it's all of these sort of guilts and feelings, right, I needed to let go of, right? So I was stuck, and I really realized that this is where, you can spin your wheels, and this is in general for everybody. You can get stuck for a long time on these things that you're not letting go of, and that's why your wheels are spinning. You're not moving forward, and you don't even realize it sometimes, and you just feel like blah. So these little aha moments really, really delve in and teach us these lessons. And for me, this is a lifelong journey. This isn't something, that I've worked on and I can let go of. This is something I don't ever plan to stop doing, is the self-exploration, the self-discovery work, and working on what's not serving me so that I can move forward in a very proactive and healthy way. And that's what we want for you too. So, my favorite quote by Tony Robbins is, "Why live an ordinary life when you can live an extraordinary one?" We are here. This is our shot at it, and we have to give it our all.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! This is my motto, and their words to live by. So, all of these things that we've outlined, right, come into play as areas of aging that are important. And sometimes we can overlook them. And we also don't realize how they're affecting other areas of our lives or just our everyday, experiences and our actual outcomes of how we choose which path to go down. So we've just touched on a few of the dozens that we have for you. Um, but we found that it's all about alignment and harmony, and that's really important. Your mind, emotions, and body are instruments, and the way you align and tune them determines how well you play life. And I love the way they worded that, how well you play at life, because it really reminds you that you need to have fun. We need to find creative outlets, ways to make this work for us and have fun doing it. And that is at any age.
You must play.
You must play. We want to add some play and creativity in our program as well. So not only is all this self-development work that we've talked about so important, but we also need challenges, right? We need to be challenged. We need tips and tools that keep us in alignment to help us find that balance and harmony that we really want in our lives. But more than that, we need a supportive community to do it in, to keep us accountable to ourselves and to one another. And of course, we also need a really strong why we are here. And we delve into that as well in our very first week together. I personally had been a part of a membership program for 2 years and absolutely loved it. But my favorite part was getting together every other week with my little support group, where I grew leaps and bounds by that connection with those women. And actually, just to let you know, to this day, even though the program ended over 2 years ago, here we are in our 4th year. We are still meeting on our own every other week, committed time, showing up and being there for each other. And honestly, that is the kind of community that is so important. And that is what we want to create and build for you as well, a live interaction with a community, not just doing stuff on your own, not just working on a course load on your own. That's really important as well. But we want you to experience the sense of togetherness.
And accountability that comes from groups.
Absolutely. You have to show up. You have to learn to show up in your life if you want the changes. So let's piece this together. Let's go back to that initial survey that we asked you in the beginning. We had 5 options that you can see on the screen there, and exploring different topics, the self-development, transformational work, the challenges and tips and tools, the group coaching, as well as the supportive and like-hearted community. Our Power in Aging program that we've created will give you all of these. We are super excited to introduce it to you, and we've tried to put together the best elements for your personal transformation that we know can really help. So, to kind of go over what our program offers, we have, first of all, a private portal that you enter with your membership, and every month you unlock a new theme of aging. So that'll be our focus together that month. And then you have the weekly work as well. So you'll have self-paced work such as journaling, self-exploration, discovery work, monthly challenges as well. And then twice a month you meet with your small group, we like to call affectionately your groupette. And together you work through the challenges of that month's themes. And you follow a format as well that we give to you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's all provided for you. And when you go through this, you really create a sense of sisterhood and a bond together with these like-hearted women that you're showing up for, right? And you're working towards a common goal. Together, you want to survive this process of aging and riding through this journey together. Then once a month, we have our group coaching session with Mel and myself, and we dive into the areas of that month's themes as well. So not only do you get to feel the support by professional coaches, but you also have your tribe of women there to support you. Again, bringing in a wealth of experiences together, right? What some have gone through, what some are just starting to go through. And then, of course, you need some new ideas, some tips and tools to explore. Some can be possible game changers as well. And we also are going to put together a monthly power list of recommendations for you to really help you in the areas of growth that you're looking for, such as maybe reading material or podcasts, recipes from Mel. So those will be every month. And finally, we thought just sort of the pièce de résistance, we wanted to add a little bonus and let you know that we are there for you. So we've added what we call power hours, and we're going to open up a Zoom room twice a month, and we're just sitting in like a space, a nice safe space for you to pop in and say hello, ask your questions, get support. If you're the only one there, it's like a one-on-one coaching session. If anybody else drops in, we're there to support each other. You can pop in for a minute or stay for the whole hour. So we are offering those live power hours as well twice a month. So this sounds like a full package, right? And we hope it will be transformational and life-changing, but we do need a commitment from you because you need to show up. Remember, you are worth it. We think you're worth it. You have to know that you are worth it. So you need to practice that accountability piece for both yourself and for the other women in your group that you want support from and that you are there to support as well. So we know that time is precious, which is why we've made it a combination of the set times that you commit to showing up for your groupettes and coaching session, as well as the self-paced development portion that you can work on your own time with your busy schedules, such as the coaching questions, and really make it work for you with your life schedule. So it's a win-win and a healthy balance. For me personally, I believe that you can't have the growth that you truly desire without both. So the self deep dive that we take and a supportive community to keep you accountable, but also so that you have someone to open up to, right? Because working on your own is great, but to really sustain the work, you need to be able to share it with others. We are humans, we are social creatures, and we function a lot better with others, sharing our wins and our losses, our ups and our downs. Many people don't have a group to do that with. At least they don't have a group where they feel they can completely be transparent and open up from the heart and be vulnerable. So we wanted to provide you with that safe space and the community to do that. So because of that, we had to include it as part of a full package. So now we hope that you're thinking, wow, this sounds awesome. Let's cut to the bottom line. You've spoken about time commitment, but what is the financial commitment or investment that we're requiring? Excuse me. So to keep up with the global market and our international, community, we are pricing in US dollars because that just seems to be the way that everything is set up. So we thought we would keep it very affordable, and also we like numbers, so a magical number 333. So for the entire year, that includes, it's not a monthly, it's the entire year, your program. And we did make it an annual thing because honestly, having done this and with my experience, you need to commit to a time for change. Change doesn't happen overnight. And if you commit to a month and don't show up the next month, you're not going to get the transformation you're looking for. So we want to make you feel committed for a year. And certain topics and certain areas are going to sing out to you louder than other ones. So you need to sort of commit to yourself to stick it out for that whole time. So it is a year package. But we're also launching this, and this is our big inaugural launch. So we are offering for you to jump in as a founding member, which, first of all, founding member not only means you lock in as one of our very first and loyal and we much appreciated members. So you get to maintain that low price even as inflation goes up and we change the price next year. You'll still lock in at this low price. And our bonus thank you is an additional approximately 35% off because the Canadian dollar is very low right now. So we're going to offer you to pay $333 in Canadian dollars. So for those of you, coming from a foreign currency, believe me, Canadian dollars is a lot cheaper than paying in US dollars. And for those of us in Canada, when we have to think US, we always tack on that extra 35%. You don't have to worry about it. It's all in Canadian. We also wanted to offer you a second incentive. It's kind of like a referral fee. We really appreciate you spreading the word. If you're enjoying our community, we want you to get the word out and invite a friend. It also really helps with the accountability, right? That little text, hey, are you showing up today? Have you done this? Right? So we have somebody we know. So by joining with a friend, we are going to offer you each an additional 11%. 11 is my magic number. I won't get into it now, but it comes up a lot throughout the work we do. So we stuck with 11% off for both of you. So that now brings the price down to under 300 at 297 for, again, the entire year. I think that works out to like 80 cents a day. So again, very affordable compared to a lot of the other coaching programs, or even a one-on-one coach is over $100. So for one session. So this is a full entire year of programs. And we also are offering one final bonus as well. We are not into where people are like, oh, you have to rush now, the price is going up. No, that's not our energy, and nor our integrity. So this is the price, this is what it's going to be left at. But as an incentive for you, if you're deciding and you want to make that decision easier, we are going to give the first 11 people to join a free bonus gift, which is a one-on-one coaching session, either with Mel if you're looking for health and wellness, or myself for life coaching. And that is a full 1 hour session, private session, can be used anytime throughout the year. So you might want to hold on to it till when you feel you really need it. And you can book that with us as well. So just to go over again, it is our regular price, US $333, down to Canadian for our founding members of $333. If you and a friend join together, maybe you're secretly messaging each other right now on the chat. Hey, I don't know you, but we could say we're friends, and join together. And that would bring it down to $297 Canadian. And again, the first 11, we would welcome and love to have a one-on-one session with you for jumping in, taking that leap of faith with us. So our mission, to wrap things up, our website shows that we talk about transforming the currency of youth. This is all about looking at aging differently, right? We want to look at youth differently. We want to change and transform the currency of youth. So when we think of currency or energy, right, it's an exchange. It's what we put out into this world. It's what we use to trade with other people, right? And it's what we also expect to receive back. So it's an exchange. We need to treat aging as that energy exchange. We have a lot to give. So let's really look to receive as much as possible back. Let's make it positive and let's make it abundant. You were drawn to coming here for a reason today. It's not by chance. We really don't believe in coincidence at all. So you are here for a reason, and we thank you. We are in gratitude for you being here. And with that, we just have 2 questions left to ask you. And the first is it time to invest in your transformation? And if it is, will you join us and let us be a part of that? So we thank you so much for being here for this presentation. We're going to open up now to a Q&A and take any questions that you might have. So I'll just go into gallery, I think, and you can, there, perfect. So feel free, if you have questions, you can type them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. And we will be following up as well with an email for all of those registered. You'll have the replay if you want to rewatch anything that we've said, or share it with a friend as well. How do you accept payment? Oh, that's a great question. So we would send you to our main website under membership, and you can choose which package, whether you're joining with a friend or you're just joining on your own. And then it will give you the option. So we're trying to link right now. We've had a little issue with our PayPal account linking, paying that way. So at this point, just to make sure, we would invite you to choose the option where you would pay like with an external link, I think it says, but you still fill out the registration so that we know that you're registered and becoming a member. And then if you're in Canada, we can give you an easy email address for e-transfer or the PayPal link. And if you're international, it would be via PayPal. We'll send you an invoice, and then you can just hit send and pay it that way, if that makes sense. Any other questions? You were awesome in putting meaningful words in a flow. Brilliant. Oh, thank you, Charlotta. Content and nice program. How is the plan possible to join later in the end of the month? Oh, great question. So, and Charlotta has come to several of our events and coaching sessions. So for those that aren't aware, we do run a free guest speaker series. We've been doing it for 2 years. Every month we bring in a guest speaker to speak on various topics. So we just had a menopause coach. Next month is our financial wellness coach. And then we have someone talking to us in June about our skin. So lots of really valuable information coming to you. And just as an added bonus, I know those happen in the evening here in Canada. So for those of you who are in later time zones and don't watch them live, if you become a member, we have all of those recorded in a special library for you as well. So they are a sort of your private access to those video recordings. And as far as this program goes, we have made it where we start together as a group 3 times a year. So our entrances are May 1st, September 1st, and January 1st. So we figured those are really good times. Everyone wants, the New Year's resolutions come in January. September is a big time when the summer's ending and we're looking into sort of that more hibernation mode for the fall. And then right now as well, spring and transformation. So May, September, and January. And if you come sort of partway through, we would ask that we can register you, but you wouldn't unlock your portal to your membership until those dates. And then we're all working together. So whether you join in now or in September, when September comes, we're all in the same theme together and working on September. But then you would just keep continuing going around for the month or for the year, if that makes sense.
And the groupette, there was a question about what sort of times do you envision running the group and groupette sessions?
Oh, okay, that's a great that's a great question, because that for me has been the big challenge.
Yeah.
So depending on your time zones, what happens is once you register or tell me that you're registering, I send you out a survey or questionnaire, just like a click on all of these available times, and I'm trying to match people with their time availability. And if I know you, potentially personality, but we have been very blessed to bring in lots of really wonderful people. So we already have some from our first webinar, and I'm sort of building on those times. Right now, it tends to be popular sort of 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've noticed like Monday, for example, is one group that's already kind of forming, and they're twice a month. So there will always be on the second and fourth day of that month. So if we say it's Monday at 7, it's going to be the second and the fourth Monday of every month. The coaching will be on the third Sunday of every month. And we did the coaching on a Sunday, probably 11:11 our time, because that's my magical hour. And that makes it a little bit early on the West Coast, but it's worth getting up and having a coffee for. And then it's also doable for anybody in Europe. And your groups, if you are in Europe, we will try to, put you together so that it's probably your evening and our morning. And that would be, or potentially if you're all in Europe, then it could be, a variable time. So that is the fun challenge of this. So as we grow, we will have, more time slots available.
I'm not on Facebook. Is there any other information shared that way or via your website?
That's a great question as well. So yes, and so we will have a private Facebook group just for our group. And if you don't subscribe to Facebook, and I know that's a big thing for a lot of people, our website, first of all, we're making it somewhat interactive, where you can submit comments and comment as a community on each other's, so you might say under
like
this
chat area,
kind of a chat area, yeah. Right? So depending how often you check, it doesn't notify you like maybe Facebook would, but you are open. That's your login. You can go in anytime and engage with other members. And then of course, we do recommend with your own groups, you're going to exchange, emails. I have with my group a personal WhatsApp chat. So we send each other little memes, or, hey, you're coming, or I'm going to be late, whatever, for our group meetings as well. So you really start to find your own ways to keep communicating as well.
What works within the group.
Yeah. And our website will keep you up to date on all of our upcoming events and things like that as well. That's our general website. but our member website we're really excited about because we've put a
Yeah.
lot of thought and
Yeah.
energy into it. So it will be broken down into, weeks, but you have the whole month ahead of you. So if you're like eager beaver, or you're going away next week, you can jump ahead within that month, and do as much of, the video work as well. And
And also the group,
yeah,
the
no,
free speakers, the
guest speakers.
guest speakers that we have, they'll be available for you to do the replays on. So if people
Yeah,
can
I
come
said
as a
that.
free, oh, you did say
Yeah,
that already?
yeah, the library.
She's got it already under
Yeah.
control. Never mind.
That's okay. Yeah, we have that library of of recordings for you as well. So
Yeah.
a few extra perks that way. Very lovely presentation, beautiful soul. Oh, thank you. Transformation time. Yeah, it is a big transformational time. And
Yeah.
I for
Spring.
us, because of the age group, whether you're in your 40s and I mean, we've had people in their late 30s already starting to, have kids, relationships with their children changing, or their aging parents are coming,
Sandwich
yeah, the
generation.
sandwich generation, a big thing. And we have members in their 70s. So, we're still going through growth periods in, at all ages. But I was going to say, on top of that, you throw in the fallout of a pandemic, right? And I feel that isolation was really not the way that, that's why for me it's about building community. And we can do a lot of this stuff on our own, but how better to support that work, and really, by coming together, we are stronger together. And I believe that, especially women, I mean, we raise each other up. And that's why this timing is very, the world is transforming. Thank you, Lori. Oh, yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions? So we will be following up again with an email, so please keep your eyes out for that. We'll have the replay for this. It will also have a link to our website with the membership section. You can scroll down at the very bottom, has your options of registering. The only thing I ask is, like if you leave it to the last minute, it's for me the scheduling part, obviously. So if you're gonna think about it, again, it's about making a commitment to yourself. It's about being accountable. So take some time and think it through. There's never any pressure. I really believe people are meant to be, they show up where they're meant to be. So if you're meant to be here, if you're meant to be a part of our community, we would absolutely love that if it feels right for you. And if it's not the right time, we will see you when it is, because that's the seeds we're planting for everybody. But just let us know so that we can definitely make sure you're a part of the groupettes.
And you can always reach out to us if you think of a question that hasn't come to you at this moment. A little bit later, no worries. Reach out to us in whatever way,
Yeah.
Facebook or email or whatever. The website as well.
Oh, and one other question that someone in our last group joined, but they had a friend they were trying to get to join, but she wanted to make the commitment. She's like, I'm jumping in, I'm committing. So she did pay the $333. But we did tell her, if you find a friend that is going to join between now and then, we'll happily refund you that 11%. So
Yeah.
if you want to commit and jump in now, and then in a couple of days, a friend that you've talked to says, I'm on board, great, then we will refund that. So
And that special rate, Gigi, will go until May, until we start the program up. That's our beginning date, is the beginning of May. So
yeah,
we have until then to decide.
yeah, with the incentive of a free coaching session.
Yes. Well,
I'll
yes.
just throw that out there,
Yeah.
but
For the first 11.
yeah.
So can I send the recording on to someone who wasn't able to join today and wanted to hear more? Absolutely. We would love that.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
we absolutely appreciate any, yes.
You'll be getting that recording sent to you afterwards.
Yeah. And if I mean, sometimes it's someone you think might need it, and sometimes we don't know what other people are going through, right? It's just it might be the right time. So we plant little seeds, and hopefully people will come energetically when it's the right time. Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. And if not, then we'll see you hopefully in September. We'll repeat some of these webinars. We'll keep you, engaged throughout with our email list. If you haven't already signed up on our email list, I can put the link in the chat. I think most of you, I'm not sure if you automatically sign up. When you signed up for this, it goes on our email, probably. But it's also available on our website, so you can do it that way.
So Gigi just said it's under $25 a month, which is very reasonable. Yes, We were thinking that was quite reasonable.
We
Yes, we
actually
were
had
hoping.
one of our members that joined from the first webinar worked it out to the penny. She's like, so if I can bring a friend, it's this. If I can't, is this. And she was,
Yeah.
because
To the day.
financially
She's
we
like,
understand I mean, for some people
mm,
it's not, a thing, and other people, I have to say, for me, like, I find that you have to keep things reasonable, so that people feel they can be a part of it. Like, I see all these programs that are like 2000 US, and there's like a 3-month program. I'm it's just not, that's not for me. And I always make it about what I would do. So that's why
the
we tried to,
avatar.
yeah, we tried to keep it very affordable, but we also want to exceed your expectations with the value that you will get for that, and
Yeah.
really, you know, bring a community together with a lot of value.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and I know Charlotta's in Sweden, so there's a different time zone stuff, and B are in England,
Yeah.
and we did have a few others from England sign up. I actually have someone who couldn't make it, but she registered so that she would be sent the replay in England. So, hopefully,
We'll get a
we'll
good
have we'll
crew
have a
that way.
nice, yeah,
Yeah,
community, and then I'll be there next month to see you.
that's true.
Whoop whoop! Excited. Okay, well, thank you all so very much. If there are no other questions, and again, if you think of something later down the road, if you know us personally, reach out to us, messenger, text, whatever. If you want to, email us, you can reach us also via the website. So it's just powerandaging.com, nice and simple.
Lovely to see all your faces.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your energy with us today, and for coming here and on a beautiful Sunday. And we look forward to welcoming you into our community. So thank you so much.